In this special episode, we focus on 3 comparisons from Season 1 and 2. Because each comparison focuses on the player's size, strength, and unique abilities, we are appropriately calling this episode Power Moves. Martin Soares is a basketball trainer and founder of Basketball Society, which features multiple podcasts.
See, I think Zion plays with pretty comparable force and strength as Charles Barkley, which says a lot, which is saying a lot, because Charles Barkley was all force and power. I think Zion has pretty much that same kind of force and power, obviously with a much higher vertical leap. I also think that because of injuries and other issues and what have you, people don't really see just how good Zion actually is. Mm-hmm. He still has some more, I think, time to do what people like Vince Carter and Zach LaVine have done, which is show that I'm not Aaron Gordon, which is show I'm not just a leaper. I'm not just a high flyer. I think if you really watch Zion, you see that. You see that he can pass the ball, he can make plays, he can get in the paint at will. So I guess I'll put it like this. I think anything that Charles could do, Zion could do, and probably a little bit better.
Paul Never is the author of a new biography about Moses Malone. His book is called Moses Malone, The Life of a Basketball Prophet.
These two are crazy talented. Zion Williamson or Charles Barkley. 10 years of good health. Keep that in mind. Who would you go with?
Man, the Zion thing is tricky because, I don't know. I just read a really good article the other day about Joel Embiid. I don't know if you saw it on ESPN.
Yeah, I saw it.
I forget the name of the writer, but a really good, really in-depth piece of his whole career. And at the crux of it is this issue of, clearly he has health issues, there's no doubt about that. But there's also been this suggestion that he's lazy and isn't always committed, isn't always in as good a shape as he could be. It's hard to figure out which is which, right? Are you lazy, or is your foot really bothering you?
Yeah.
And you know, there's a little bit of that with Zion, and that I don't know exactly what Zion is. Obviously, he has had a lot of injuries. He's also been very overweight in his career. It sounds like he hasn't been the greatest teammate. And the crazy thing is, all those things I just said about Zion were said about Barkley.
Hello. Yeah, exactly.
There's a great story in my book about how Barkley goes to Moses early in his career and said, Moses, why aren't I playing in his rookie year? And Moses looks him up and down and says, you're fat and lazy. And Moses works with him and helps him get rid of that weight. But similar label to Zion in that way. It's also tough to assess Zion because we haven't seen the best of Zion, certainly as a player, and we haven't seen him healthy for a long stretch of time.
Right.
All that being said, I think Charles is a better shooter. Zion probably is the better athlete, but young Charles is a crazy athlete.
Yes.
They're both a little undersized for what they do.
Yep.
But made up for it with athleticism
and their strength. They're
yes,
pretty strong guys.
Absolutely. Both weren't very good defenders. I have to take Charles just because I've seen him be the best player on a team that went to the finals, and there is some universe in which maybe that could be the case for Zion, or could have been the case without injuries.
Right.
But I just don't know. I just don't know if he could have got to that level. And a lot of that is mental, where if mentally he could have been the leader of a team and carried the load for a whole season and led them, to the finals or to a deep playoff run. I hope we get to see that. I hope we still do.
Yeah.
But in the absence of that, if nothing else, just kind of that mental edge to Barkley.
Zion Williamson. Charles Barkley. Zion Williamson. Charles Barkley.
Zion Williamson.
Charles Barkley.
Here's Barkley right here. They're opening up the floor. And Charles, take the action one-on-one. No, batted off for the win. Here go the pull-up jumper by Barkley falls with 1.6 seconds remaining, and San Antonio uses their final timeout.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare two stars who put the word power in power forward.
When he played, this NBA legend dominated defenses the way he captivates audiences on TNT today.
His explosiveness on the court and creativity in the air made this player go viral before he even got to college.
Guarding these two, opponents can only hope for a help defender, but even double teams couldn't stop the inevitable.
We are more than ready to present to you Zion Williamson and Charles Barkley. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
now and then.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back with another comparison episode. We humbly ask you to follow our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I think it's a good time to mention our exclusive bonus episodes, right?
Yes, sir.
In addition to our classic comparison episodes, which are free on all podcast platforms, we have a ton of extra episodes that you can access for just a few bucks a month.
Literally, guys, it's just a few bucks a month.
Yeah, guys, we have our Legends of the Games episodes.
And who did we feature, Maurice?
Just the best to ever play. We compare icons like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to Bill Russell, Dr. J to Clyde Drexler, and even David Robinson to Patrick Ewing.
With comparisons of Magic Johnson to Oscar Robinson and Jerry West to Rick Barry on the way.
You heard the lineup, and that's not even mentioning our Mount Rushmore episodes and many other special category episodes like dunk contest comparisons and even basketball movie comparisons.
You can access this bonus content with a premium subscription through Apple Podcasts or on Patreon.
If you're a Spotify person, you can hop over to www.patreon.com/NBA Now and Then.
On Apple, you can opt for a free trial, which will last a week. Or just click the payment option and unlock exclusive content for just $3 a month.
Okay, gents, are we ready for this Zion and Barkley comparison?
I'm excited about this one.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go.
Okay, this is exciting for a few reasons. One player is one of the biggest personalities, not just in sports, but entertainment, period. And he happens to be one of our hometown heroes. People listen to us long enough. They know that we are Sixers fans. The other player is going through a rough stint, some injuries, but nonetheless, the kid has tremendous talent. I'm going to go to Lucas first. Lucas, why are we comparing Charles Barkley and Zion Williamson?
When you think of power forwards, the name power is in there for a reason, right? And these guys were/are very powerful down in the post. They can bully people. They get their shots up. It doesn't matter what you do. There are very few players in the league that were or can defend these guys.
Absolutely. Ben, what about you?
It's the size. Zion's about 6'6". Barkley is somewhere between 6'4" and 6'6", and they just play a lot bigger than they are. And kind of what Lucas was saying, but yeah, their height is actually pretty small. So, and they just play so big. They're so dominant for being such a small size.
100%, I agree. Maurice?
Both of these players are really exciting. We've seen the highlights in the past of Charles Barkley getting the rebound, taking the ball up the court, dribbling past defenders and just slam dunking it. And we see the same thing with Zion today, many, many years later. Both of them really resemble each other a lot, especially in the open court.
Yeah, Lucas's point about just being a straight bully down low, watching Barkley in the 80s just dominate, even though he was undersized. And I think the body control for me, Lucas, what you were saying resonates. Like both these players, their field goal percentage was always off the chart, always in the top 10, top 5, or what have you. And then those fast breaks, Maurice, there are so many memories of Barkley on the break against the Bullets, against the Celtics, and the power that he would emphatically just throw down a dunk. It's just so memorable. And his highlight reel is maybe not as creative as Zion's, because Zion is just, that's how he got viral, right, with his dunks. But power, like head to head, those guys are pretty much the same. That being said, let's go ahead and jump to the comparison.
Chris Wilde is the co-host of the longest-running Clippers podcast called Clipcast.
Paolo Banchero. Can you at least give the man some credit? What he did in Orlando in the playoffs.
I didn't even need you to say. I knew it.
I knew it was coming.
I knew it.
He had
Paolo
the list.
is not putting the meats in the seats. Paolo is not putting the meats in the seats. It's tough because, like, it is tough because, I only get to see Orlando like twice a year. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then if they make the playoffs, then I get to watch them a little bit more. But like, it's very special getting to go to all the home games, and it's a complete bummer that we only get the Eastern Conference once. And I get it. I totally get it. That's the way it should be. I actually think there was that season that we talked about earlier where you're like, wait a second, the finals were in like late July or something.
Yeah.
So that was like post bubble, right? And that season was truncated. It wasn't 82, it was 72. Mm-hmm. And it worked out perfectly that interconference each played twice, and then in your own conference you played 3 times. So there was no tiebreakers. And that is just so much better. And I think the league will never do it, but they should strongly consider shrinking the regular season, especially if they're doing all these in-season tournament nonsense and play-in tournament nonsenses. Shrink the regular season to 72. Mathematically, it works much better. It takes a lot of wear and tear off the guys. So I think go for a 72. But man, I don't see these guys on other teams enough.
Right.
The newer guys.
Mike Gioseffi is the co-host of the popular Ringer podcast called Sports Cards Nonsense.
Unknown, right? Paolo, we haven't seen a bunch of. I think I'd take a shot with him.
Okay.
I know what I'm getting with Blake. Blake's another guy, couldn't really stretch the floor much. Unbelievable at the rim. Same thing, late game, you could hack Blake early on especially, and I'd live with him at the free throw line. Yeah. Especially young. I mean, Banchero's got kind of that it factor already. Not a great team in Orlando. I think I'd roll with him in that one.
Paolo Banchero.
Blake Griffin.
Paolo Banchero. Blake Griffin. Paolo Banchero. Blake Griffin. Backs it up. Will turn. Down the He'll go to work. Step back. Over Durant. Shot is up. Banchero drills it.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare 2 of the most athletic power forwards from their respective eras.
This player finishes at the rim as good as any forward in the entire league.
Their strength and skill amazing.
His career is filled with more iconic dunks than any other player during his prime.
With moves to the basket that are unexplainable for guys their size.
Jumping with these players put way too many opponents on posters.
We are excited to present to you Paolo Banchero and Blake Griffin. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
Hey everybody, we're back after an iconic episode where we compare James Harden to Allen Iverson. And now we're moving on to 2 dynamic forwards, one that just retired and the other just had a great debut for his postseason performance. But before we start, I just want to ask people to please follow our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It would really make a difference as we build our Comparison Hoops community. Following us would be great, but leaving a review for our show would be even better. Lastly, if you know any NBA fans out there, feel free to share any of our episodes so that they can be part of the comparison conversation. That being said, we have this really unique comparison, a really, really young player. We don't usually do young players, but after this kid played recently for Orlando, I think his time is now. Lucas, I'm going to go to you first. Blake Griffin, Paolo Banchero. What's this comparison all about?
You got 2 athletic guys who were selected first overall in their drafts that have quickly changed the franchise as soon as they started playing. Their games, in my opinion, despite one being, more athletic than the other, are eerily similar.
Okay. What about you, Maurice?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go to the highlight reels because both of these guys are spectacular power forwards, small forwards, whatever you want to call them. One is a highlight reel on the dunks. One of them is just a multi-tool young player who is still ascending and still growing, and we haven't seen the best of Paolo's game yet.
Yeah, good points. And what about you, Ben?
Yeah, the unanimous number one picks is kind of what stands out, like in both their drafts. And then what everyone said, like both were all-stars by the time they were 20, 21. Like they right away not only played good basketball, but winning basketball. As we all just saw, he almost took his team at 20, 21 years old to the second round. So
yeah, 38 and 16 in a game 7. That's not too shabby for a second-year player. And that's a great point, Ben, the fact that they both had pretty much immediate impacts. I think both players their first year didn't have a winning season, but then the next year they really took a leap. This next one, 2 lefties, 2 power forwards. One played for your Nets back in the 90s, and the other has been playing for Minnesota the past year and a half, 2 years. We're talking about Julius Randle or Derrick Coleman.
Ooh, God, you're bringing out names, man. Derrick Coleman? I'm going Coleman. I'm going with Derrick Coleman. I always liked Derrick Coleman. He was a little more minimal. I think of him with the Sixers, that version of him that I remember best. And I just think he was more simple with his. I think they have similar skill sets.
Yes.
To Julius's credit, he can do so much. He's progressed his game so much where he can do a lot off the dribble, and be a playmaker. But even with that, Julius can get into trouble a lot with just dribbling and going into traffic. And I think his ability kind of works against him sometimes. I think Derrick Coleman was a more like role player, but will be highly productive, can stretch it, can be a stretch big, but can also play the power forward. I like Derrick Coleman there.
Julius Randle, Derrick Coleman.
Julius Randle, Derrick Coleman.
Julius Randle, Derrick Coleman. 8 seconds to go.
Time left at about 2:15, but Douglas driving in the alley-oop.
Randle puts up a three.
And Sherman Douglas saved the prettiest play of the day until now.
Well, he knows right away to find Derrick Coleman.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we reveal similarities between a pair of remarkable power forwards.
This former number 1 pick took the New Jersey Nets to new heights in the 90s.
His strength and aggression makes him one of the toughest frontcourt matchups in the NBA today.
From the perimeter or in the paint, these two showed off unbelievable skill in their prime.
We are eager to present to you Julius Randle and Derrick Coleman. I'm Lucas.
I'm Maurice.
And I'm Uriah.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another podcast episode where we compare NBA stars today to yesterday. Before we begin, we ask that you follow our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. As the NBA playoffs are in full swing, so is our show. Needless to say, we are ready to end the season strong.
That's why we have some special guests coming in off the bench to co-host some epic episodes.
Dusty Garza, who covers the Spurs in San Antonio, is going to be joining us for Victor Wembanyama and Wilt Chamberlain comparison.
And Chris Kawhild, who covers the Clippers in LA, will be stepping up for our Kawhi Leonard and Scottie Pippen comparison.
You do not want to miss the next few weeks of NBA Now and Then, guys.
Visit www.nbanowandthen.com today for special updates and future episodes that are sure to quench your thirst for unique NBA content.
All right, we're about to jump into this comparison. Two amazing power forwards, one that played in the 90s and one that's playing right now in the playoffs with the Minnesota Timberwolves. But let's go to Lucas first. Why are we comparing Julius Randle to Derrick Coleman?
I think these guys are two big-bodied power forwards that really put the power in power forwards that, we don't see nowadays too often.
Two versatile big men. Both of them have an in-and-out game. They can beat you with a post-up, and they also can beat you with a three.
Yeah, the physicality of these players is pretty apparent when you watch any highlights or if you watch them live back in the day. As far as their stature, Lucas, they are definitely strong power forwards, and Maurice, they can pretty much do it all. not necessarily playmakers at the position, but when it comes to rebounding, when it comes to offensive potency, dual threats, perimeter shot, post-up game, I think we were comparing these players for those reasons, but I also have to throw some light on their college careers. And I know Lucas said before we started recording that Julius Randle only played 1 year, but that 1 year was pretty special. And he had a pretty prolific year. I think he set some records that I'll get into. And Derrick Coleman, man, when he was with Syracuse playing alongside Ronnie Cycli and Billy Owens, that was a really, really special team. Do you guys remember that, or is that a little too old for you guys?
Definitely too old for me.
I remember Billy Owens.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Both guys were lottery picks, but you guys ready to get into this one?
Let's roll.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Come back next Sunday for a special episode where we discuss the movie Space Jam. Lucas, Uriah, Maurice, and Ben go behind the scenes and peel back layers from one of the most impactful basketball movies ever made, featuring the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on Apple or Spotify, and make sure to follow us on social media. Until next time, peace.